There once was a little boy from a small town in Indiana who had a dream. His dream was to become a basketball player. Larry Bird not only fulfilled his dream, he became a Hall of Famer. When I'm finished, you will have a better understanding of how important Larry Legend was to the game of basketball. According to the Los Angeles Times, not too long ago, LeBron James was asked who his top three players ever were. He answered with Michael Jordan, Dr. James Naismith, and my man, Larry Bird. Now, if LeBron puts you in that category, you've done something right. I'm here to guide you through the career of Larry Bird. To start things off, I'll take you through his college career when he played at Indiana State, his NBA career with the Boston Celtics, and finally looking back at what Larry Bird did to the game of basketball. We begin unveiling Larry Legend's career by starting with his very successful college career at Indiana State. Larry Bird began his college career at the University of Indiana, where he was recruited by a very famous basketball coach, Bobby Knight. ESPN stated that Bird decided that he was going to go back home and not even play for Knight's Hoosiers. Bird didn't even attend one practice before he decided he was going home. He attended a junior college shortly after his departure from Indiana, but he didn't end up there long either. To add on to all of this, Bird's father passed away that same year. When Bird found out his father passed away, he realized that college was what he needed to do. He decided that he was going to attend Indiana State University. Since he did not play a full year at Indiana, he had to redshirt his first year at Indiana State. So Bird had to wait until next year before he could see the court. After his redshirt year, he finally was able to hit the hardwood. And let me tell you, he hit the hardwood with some fashion. According to Sports Illustrated, a website that is a media franchise with over 3.5 million subscribers, Bird was averaging 33 points and 13 rebounds just as a freshman. He was the only good news for the Sycamores as they didn't accomplish anything that year. It all goes north here for Larry and his team, though. After an impressive first year in Terre Haute, Bird didn't miss a beat. Bird was named to the All-America team, averaging 30 points and 12 rebounds a game. Bird led his Sycamores to the NIT quarterfinals that year. That's as far as they got after falling to Rutgers 57-56 on a controversial play that ended the game. Bird decided that he was going to return to Terre Haute for his senior year. He wanted to take Indiana State to the top, somewhere Indiana State has never been before. In his senior season, Larry led his team to an undefeated regular season while averaging 29 points and 15 rebounds. He was also bringing home the hardware. He won the Adolph Rupp Trophy, which was given to the College Basketball Player of the Year. Bird then led his team all the way through the tourney to the national championship game where they would face Michigan State. Michigan State had a future NBA star in Irving Magic Johnson. This was one of the most anticipated matchups in the history of the game. Bird didn't have his best game, you could say. The Spartans held him to just 19 points, and the result was a win for the Spartans as they defeated the Sycamores 75-64 in the national championship game. This was the beginning of the rivalry between Larry and Magic. After a disappointing loss in the title game, Bird had to switch his attention to the NBA draft. When the draft came along, he was drafted 6th overall by the Boston Celtics. Larry was moving to Boston. The legacy of Larry Legend begins in the NBA. In his early years, Bird had a very excelling rookie season. He was the leader on the Celtics team, which had the best record in the league. According to Celtics.com, he was averaging over 21 points and 10 rebounds a game. Bird couldn't quite bring the title to Boston in his first year in the Celtics jersey and fell short of the championship. The following year, the Celtics looked more improved as they trotted to the finish line with fashion, taking home the trophy in 1981. Here's a picture of their 1981 championship season. Bird, in just his second year, Bird already brought home the hardware. He was one of the main reasons why they won the championship, averaging over 21 points and 11 rebounds and over 5 assists a game. The next 2 years went by as Larry kept his pace and continued to fall short of his second title. It wasn't until the 1984 season, 3 years after his first championship, when Bird reached the milestone of winning 2 championships. The Celtics defeated the Lakers, who had a familiar face on their side, Magic Johnson. Bird finally got his revenge after losing in the national championship game when they both were in college. Bird averaged over 27 points in the finals against the Lakers. He was literally unstoppable. The following year, the Celtics and the Lakers met again in the finals. This time, it was a different result. Magic Johnson led his Lakers to another championship in 1985, his third with the Lakers. Bird was determined to get another ring to match his arch rival. During the 1986 season, Larry took his game to a new height. He was putting up numbers he had never put up before. He led his team to the finals yet again. This was big news when the Celtics didn't make the finals. They wouldn't be facing the Lakers this year, which it didn't matter. Larry Bird put on a performance in the finals for the whole world to see. The Celtics would go on and win another ring, giving Bird his third and final NBA championship. After Bird won his third championship, he only got to play in the finals one more time, which was the following year after he just won his third title. They faced off against the Lakers again. They weren't able to get the job done as they fell short to the Lakers. That was the last time Bird got to play in the NBA Finals. Bird had a tremendous run in those first 8 years of his career. He really took the NBA by storm and instantly became one of the most liked players in the NBA. Larry got the opportunity to win a gold medal on the USA basketball team in 1992. He played on a very talented basketball team. They were referred to as the Dream Team. This team included Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, and Karl Malone. After 13 seasons with the Celtics, winning 3 championships in his first 8 years, getting selected to 12 All-Star teams, winning 3 MVP awards, Bird decided that he was going to retire. When you look back at Larry Bird's career, all you can do is appreciate how the man played the game. He also had a hidden talent after he was done playing, and it happened to be coaching. When everyone thought that Larry was done with basketball, he shocked everyone with becoming an assistant coach for the Boston Celtics. Bird would be the assistant coach for the next 3 years in Boston until he landed the head coaching job at the Indiana Pacers. In Bird's first 2 years as a head coach, he brought his team to the conference finals each year. It wasn't until his third year where he would get his team to the finals. Larry Bird was finally back in the finals, this time as a coach and not as a player. He was facing off against a very familiar team, the Los Angeles Lakers. Bird took the series to 6 games before finally defeating the Lakers. After his team tasted defeat, he announced to the city of Indianapolis that he was to resign as the head coach. He had a good run for somebody who had never coached before. This just shows how basketball-minded Larry Bird actually was. Not only was he good on the court, he was brilliant on the sidelines too. 3 years after he resigned as a head coaching job in 2003, he came back to Indy and became the president of the Pacers, where he still is today. Larry Bird didn't have the most NBA titles, MVPs, or the most scoring awards. He wasn't the most gifted athlete in the world. He used his strengths, which was shooting, his basketball IQ, and his hustle to help him in all areas of his game. He was one of the purest shooters I have ever seen. Larry Bird was a champion on and off the floor. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1998. Now that I'm done with all of that, you can now see how important Larry was to the game and how much of an impact he had to the game. There are so many bumps in the road to greatness, but you got to look past and fight past those bumps if you want to become the player you want to be. And Larry is living proof.